Nocterra, issue number 2 from Image Comics. So this is the return of Nocterra. I did do a recent Nocterra story, but that was just kind of like a one shot, and it was just basically about Val and her surviving, becoming one of these like weird shadow figures, and just a little bit about her past. And this one, it looks like the main character is going to be M, Valve's brother. So I don't know if it's just for this one issue or if this is going to be who the new protagonist is going to be. Val is in this issue, but this is basically through M's point of view. And of course, like every Nocterra issue, we have to start with the flashback before the big PM happened. And we just get a little bit of a background on M's life and how Val said she was born into darkness, because basically she was born like losing her sight before she was able to get an operation to fix it. So that's what she was born into, darkness. Meanwhile, M was born into light. By that, his birth parents abandoned him on a highway in the middle of the highway. They just stopped, pulled him out with him still in his car seat, and just put him on the highway. They had him facing away from the car, so I guess they were hoping that, if the kid got ran over, he wouldn't see it coming. But eventually, M realized that maybe people would be able to see him better if he actually turned around and faced them, because he had like a moon sign on his shirts, and it might be reflective of the lights and stuff. So he was born into light because literally his first memory is just a bunch of bright headlights shining in his face. And eventually he was found by someone, and later on he got adopted, and then Val came into the picture, and yada yada yada. We know this story. And so M is just talking about how he's the new leader of the Sundog convoy, about what their group mission is, about how they're trying to find Eos so that they can somehow bring back the sun and destroy all the shades. And they're making their way towards this one observatory that all the telescopes, like the lights, were eventually changed. And it's basically like this giant death trap for shades, because they're able to shine a bunch of bright lights, but for some reason the lights aren't going on. And so M and his group get attacked. And just before they're about to get killed, the observatory lights go on and blast all of the shades around the area and saves the group. And M and the group get out, and M's pissed off, like, what the hell took you so long? Why didn't you answer me earlier when I was radioing for help? And that's when Val opens up the door, and it turns out she was the one that turned on the lights. And she says, sorry, I just got here myself. And here's my biggest problem with this issue. So Val meets the group, M hugs her, and everyone's happy. Then they go inside and they start talking about what they're going to do next. And I'm like, that's it? That was it? That was like, it felt like there should have been more, because the last these people saw Val, she was dead. She sacrificed herself to save them. She had no idea that she got transformed into this shade creature, this shadow figure. As far as they're concerned, Valve's just dead. And now, not only do they realize, oh no, Valve's actually alive, but she's also changed. Like, she still has her humanity and all that stuff, but she's now one of these like shadow figures. She's just like Bill. And they don't like question that whatsoever. They're just like, hey, I'm glad you're alive. All right, now here's what we're going to do. And it's like, really? That's it? Like, I thought there would be more. I thought there was also probably going to be more of like a build-up between Val meeting the group. Like, I didn't think it would be this quickly and this easily. It's literally like, you can ignore the one shot that I did a review for, and you can just go immediately from issue 11 to issue 12 without really missing all that much. And yeah, if you were to just do that, Valve was basically away from the group for a couple pages, and then she's back. So that was it. So I don't know. To me, it's just like, it felt very anticlimactic. Like, you could have built this up. You could have had this group like be sad and depressed that their friend and former leader is, in M's case, sister, is dead. And you could have had Val like on her own separate journey, like she's trying to get to the group, but she has other things that she's doing along the way. And you could have had like two separate stories that eventually coincide. Like eventually at some point in time they'll meet up, and then you have this big like, oh my god, I can't believe you're still alive. What happened to you? Oh, you're the shadow thing now. We got to find a way to fix this and bring you back to normal. Yada yada yada. But it's just like, nah. Here's Val. Hey, I'm still alive. Yeah, I'm the shadow thing. Let's not question it whatsoever. Let's just move on to what we got to do next. So I was like, oh, okay. That was kind of like, all right, we're just gonna gloss over that. But yeah, it's just there's also a lot of repeating, which is another thing. Like, I get the whole Stan Lee thing where treat every issue as if it's the reader's first time picking up a comic book. But the thing is that Nocterra is written episodic. Like it's not like the comic books back then. Like they might sometimes have arcs. I mean, eventually, like, we did have comic books with arcs, but we also had like a bunch of series where it's just like each individual issue was like its own story. It was self-contained. Maybe there might be like one overarching arc that went throughout the entire volume, but each issue could be read on its own because it had its own beginning and then it ended. Nocterra is not like that. Nocterra, you can't just pick up, read, and then get closure by the end because it's basically a TV show in comic book form. It's episodic. You have to read everything before it. But at the same time, it constantly tells you everything that we've already read and seen. So it's this one thing where it's like, pick one or the other. Either you're going to be episodic and just give like a little brief splash page in the very beginning, just saying, here's the story so far, and then just go from there. Or have each issue be self-contained and have its own story. I think it should be the former, just because at this point in time, like if we just kind of abandoned the overarching story, it would be a huge misstep. But yeah, it's this weird thing where it's trying to do both and it's not working. So I'm just sitting here, I'm reading this and I'm like, yeah, I already know this. I know this. Yeah, I've read this. I've been reading this series. I know exactly why you're telling me things I already know. Like you're just constantly repeating yourself over and over and over and over again. Basically, there's this character named Diggs. And Diggs was a villain. Valve ran into him in her one-shot special, and she saved his life. And she's now taking him with her because he has information on the destination that they're trying to get to. And he just gives like a backstory about it. And this backstory is really long. To try to summarize it real quickly, it's a place that's been under construction since the 1930s. It's been built for generations and generations, and it's underground. It's a mile long. It's spherical, and there's like 3 rings to it. And yeah, and that's kind of it. Oh, also that there's a lot of shades around it. Like it's really hard to get in. Not only are there like people inside that you got to worry about, but then also you got to worry about all the monsters and shades and shadows and stuff like that on the outside. It's like almost impossible to break in, but they were gonna have to get in there anyways. And there's also this new type of shade. Basically, in the past, shades would just outright kill you. Like they just feast on you and eat you. But if you're stuck out in the darkness without any light for, it could be days up to weeks, you'll eventually become a shade yourself. You'll turn into one. But this is like a very long process. However, there's this new type of shade creature that's able to grab people and turn them into shades in a matter of seconds. And now they're like, crap, now we got to worry about this new thing that we got to deal with. Yeah, they basically get together like, all right, well, we know where we got to go, so now we got to go there. And yeah, they decide to come up with this plan where they're going to strap a bunch of shade carcasses onto their car to kind of help camouflage them, and they're going to try to head out to this new destination and save the world. And there's more, but I'm going to stop it there. I'm not going to spoil everything. I will say that, I enjoyed the issue. It is just a lot of talking, though, and a lot of telling us things we already know. They did introduce some new things, but they also spent a lot of time just going over things we've already seen. So, yeah, that was kind of annoying. But other than that, like I like where the story is going. I will say that there are some like weak moments. Like I said, other than just the constantly repeating itself, and then just the stuff with Val and how like everyone got over her death very quickly, Well, not only her death, I would say. Everyone got over her death and then her return to life. Like, it was just like, oh, hey, you're alive. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so here's what we got to do. Like, it was literally just like that. So it's like, all right, sweet. Like, the person that's your family, that's your best friend, that's your former leader, that sacrificed herself to save you, that's the welcome that you give her. Alrighty then. So yeah, that was super anticlimactic. But yeah, there's also an interesting little cliffhanger I'm not going to spoil. Like I said, I liked it, but I wouldn't say it was like really well written or anything like that. Like I would give it like a C plus maybe. It was above average. I did enjoy it, but I'm hoping that the next issue will be a lot better. This was kind of a weak return. But there you go. There's Nocterra, issue number 12 from Image Comics. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe. Hit that bell for a notification. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far. And I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see. And I hope to see you guys next time. Later.